Thank you so much for joining on this weekly Sunday Sunset Chat. Happy holiday week, hopefully a shortened work week for you. Temperatures are looking near average to maybe slightly above average this week, generally dry. Perhaps showers, if we see any, keep themselves contained to nighttime hours. But overall, it's a good week for travels if you would like to do so before the holiday. And our latest forecast at CWG.news/latest on capitalweathergang.com. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, opinions, concerns. I will hear from you over the next 20 minutes or so. Hello, Maria. Thanks so much for tuning in. We've got our average temperature, just to keep in mind in context of our forecast. Average highs for this coming week are generally in the 48-degree range. So you can see Monday's a little cool. Tuesday we're about near average, and then we kind of oscillate near to a little bit above average for the rest of the week. All right, we've got weather systems that are kind of nearby, but generally we think we'll skip over our region. That's why we're keeping us dry, kind of in the middle of these systems. But we could see brief showers maybe Tuesday night, maybe Thursday night, maybe Friday night. They might not amount to all too much. So that's, as you can see over the next 7 days, kind of our region around DC in the mid-Atlantic, except for south and east of town. That's where there could be a little bit more rainfall over the next 7 days, but there's a little bit of that DC rain hole, as we call it, the DC snow hole sometimes in the winter for you snow lovers who are always frustrated when the systems skip around like this between the mid-Atlantic. Sometimes the track moves northwest of the region, and this time we're doing northwest and southeast of the region. We're just stuck in the middle. It's a dry slop potentially for us this week, but there is some uncertainty as we head toward the end of the week, so stay tuned to capitalweathergang.com. We'll keep you posted as we get closer. And thanks for joining me a little bit later now. We're finally past our earliest sunsets of the year. I'm on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in live. And as you can see, our sunset now is at 4:48 p.m. And we're getting right near that winter solstice. Tomorrow is going to be not quite the solstice, right? But Tuesday is the shortest day of the year. That's at 9 hours and 26 minutes of daylight between sunrise and sunset. So we are getting very, very close to our shortest days of the year. Tuesday is 1 second shorter than Monday, I believe, as well. Hello, Ruth. Thanks for joining. Kenneth, indeed, it is dry, and we can thank La Nina for that in good part, perhaps. And that's part of our winter outlook as well, which you may have seen on capitalweathergang.com. We've got links for you at CWG.news/La Nina and CWG.news/winter outlook. And of course, our December outlook in and of itself is also kind of coming to fruition, coming into validation. It is generally a warmer and drier December as we expected at capitalweathergang.com. And I'm sorry, snow lovers, still 0 inches on our snow tracker for the winter. But we will get there. We will get there. The winter is still young. Latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. Your weekly forecast at a glance. We're generally near or slightly above average for temperatures this week. Generally dry, maybe a little breezy on Wednesday, but it's pretty good setup for us going into the holiday weekend as well. David, good evening. Teresa, will it be cold on Christmas Day? Let's talk about that. I will give you the quick answer. It looks like a no. So here we go, looking outwards towards Saturday. Could be warm, 50s, 60s are possible. I personally, my own opinion, I can't rule out a 70-degree reading somewhere in our region, so we'll keep you posted at Capital about that. But what else? We've got White Christmas not really on top this year. Thanks to climate change, in the last 30-year average, we used to be 8% for a White Christmas in DC. Now we're down to 4% in DC for White Christmas. All of this is written up for you at CWG.news/WhiteChristmas. But needless to say, with temperatures perhaps in the 50s, 60s, maybe near 70 on Saturday, we'll see. It's a low confidence forecast this far out, but not perhaps seasonably getting you in the spirit when it's this warm on Christmas, I would argue. So great question, Teresa. Thanks for that. And I'm sorry to maybe report unless you like warmer weather, this is what we're looking at. Probably not exactly sweater weather for Christmas Day. So keep that in mind. All right, we've got Doris. Glad the days are getting longer starting on Wednesday. Yes, from now until spring. It's very nice. April, Mrs. Snow, I'm sorry. Hello, Andrew. The beneficial storms they've gotten in California, I don't have that loaded up for you, but yes, indeed, there has been a ton of snow in the Sierra Nevada range. Lots of atmospheric moisture coming into California as well. So please check out capitalweathergang.com. Andrew, we do have that on the blog for you a few days ago. We did have that coverage. All right, one last look for a moment before I take some other questions and comments. Here's our latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. Generally calm, serene week outside of Wednesday breezes, perhaps near to above average, slightly above average temperatures for the work week, and more sunny often than not. Let's call it partly sunny overall, but generally dry. And if we do see any showers, and that's a big if this week, we could use the rain. Tuesday night has the chance of some showers, maybe Thursday night and maybe Friday night as well. So here's the quick moving systems kind of staying either to our northwest or to our southeast. So here's maybe Tuesday night we see a couple showers, then maybe Thursday nights we see a couple showers, and then perhaps on Saturday south and east of town. We'll have to, here it is coming up. We'll see how it works the models are just kind of all over the place when it comes to Saturday, but it doesn't add up to much as it appears now in the next 7 days. Generally, we have a dry slot around the DC area. Tracking storms are either going to stay southeast of town or northwest of town, and that leaves us pretty dry. And that's not great news, which we'll talk about for the drought situation, which is growing in our region slowly. It's winter. There's low transpiration rates, but here it is on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. I hope you're joining us on one or all of the live simulcasts that I'm doing on these three social media sites right now. We now have a later sunset. We're getting a little bit of that hint of evening light, even though the days are still getting shorter by a couple seconds over the next couple days for the winter solstice approaching on Tuesday. Tuesday is actually 1 second shorter than Monday, but we bottom out on our daylight around the 9-hour, 26-minute mark on Tuesday. So we're getting toward very much so the shortest days of the year. We're rounding down to the second, basically. So we'll get there. You'll talk to me a little bit later next Sunday as well, but I appreciate you. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chats on those three social media sites where I'm broadcasting live right now. Christmas Day, looking warm, 50s, 60s, maybe near 70 degrees, which not great for sweaters, right? Not great for maybe getting you in that Christmas spirit, perhaps. But if you're a warm weather lover, this looks good for Saturday, doesn't it? David, yes, indeed, it is a good travel week. Merry Christmas, Mike and David. When can we shake this dry pattern? We'll get to that in just a moment. I just want to quickly show you at CWG.news/WhiteChristmas, we talk about how chances climatologically for a white Christmas in DC, thanks to climate change or warming climate, we're down from what usually was an 8% chance of a white Christmas. Now, in the current climate regime, we're down to a 4% chance of a white Christmas. So keep that in mind, keep expectations low, snow lovers. And let's talk about when we'll see an end to this dry pattern, perhaps next work week. I have some good news when looking about 8 days to 14 days in the future. The atmosphere might be probabilistically leaning a little bit wetter than average. So that's some good news. And indeed, we have been in this dry pattern. I want to talk about CWG.news/drydc. That is our write-up on how we have kind of blossomed into an abnormally dry situation for the soil right now in much of the DC region, especially south of town, Southern Virginia. Might see drought get a little more severe there. That's where the drought actually starts. Drought level 1, drought level 2, and into the Carolinas. Drought might persist there in the brown on that graphic there as well. And here is a great analysis by the National Weather Service for the period between November 16th and December 15th. Almost all of the region was seeing record dryness for this time of year. So it ranks up there, notably dry. So keep that in mind. If you thought you were perceiving dry soil, dry conditions, dusty conditions, you are not wrong. It has been near record dry for almost all of the region recently. But again, the good news is that the pattern should perhaps slowly change next work week, looking out 8 to 14 days. The atmosphere is leaning a little bit wetter, leaning a little bit wetter than average. So keep that in mind. Julie, thank you for tuning in, even though if you're not too worried about the weather. And then we've got Rebecca looking forward to expansion of that daylight wedge. Yes, indeed. Longer and longer days, slowly but surely, as we bottom out in our daylight hours, or daylight length between sunrise and sunset on the winter solstice on Tuesday. Tuesday being 1 second shorter than Monday. So we are definitely bottoming out and going to open that wedge for longer and longer daylight between sunrise and sunset in the coming days, actually. And you'll even talk to me a little bit later next Sunday for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chats. I'm Camden Walker on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Thank you so much for tuning in for our weekly chats together. Thanks so much, Verity, for those warm wishes. You as well. Come rain, snow, or shine. I love that. Best wishes to you and your family. And Doris, any snow in January, February? Yep, it's possible. Nothing specifically to offer you in the next foreseeable future, which of course you've seen on the blog. We have not had our snow potential index, our SPI, out there recently, but we've got our latest forecast for you at CWG.news/latest. This upcoming week is pretty serene, other than maybe some breeziness on Wednesday. Could be notable. You might really feel it with gusts maybe near 25-30 miles an hour, but more often bright skies and sunshine than not. Let's say partly sunny more often than not this week. Still dry. Maybe we see a couple showers Tuesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, but it might be confined to the nighttime hours. So it might be fairly convenient for travels, if you will. All right, we've got Mike. You won't have to move to Florida if the warming comes to you. Excellent perspective on that. Rebecca, still watering the potted perennials. Yes, indeed. It has been very dry, which we can go into again in 1 second. And Gary, hello in Portland, about 5 inches of the white stuff there. No snow in the DC Mid-Atlantic forecast area just yet. But yes, indeed, head north and northwest of town from the DC area if you are desperate snow lovers to see some snow. Nothing in the forecast just yet, but of course, on the blog, we'll give you our snow potential index when we do see the potential for snow in the next 7 days that might accumulate. Here it is, running through kind of Monday through Sunday morning, kind of Monday through Saturday, through Christmas Day. I moved it pretty quickly here because I want to give you the general idea with this animation. Precipitation generally misses the area over the next 6.5 days. Maybe Tuesday night we see some showers. Maybe Thursday night a couple showers. Maybe Friday night. And we'll have to see on Christmas Day if the storm that kind of wants to be near the area, whether or not it really drenches us with more showers than it appears now. But so far, the dry conditions persist through at least the work week, if not Christmas Day on Saturday as well. So as this animation starts over one more time, we go into Sunday morning really quick. There's Saturday and now Sunday, and then boom, back to Monday. It's dry. Tuesday, it's dry. Maybe a couple showers there. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, that storm stays off the coast, it looks like, so maybe southeast of town has the highest chance of precipitation. And then here we go, Christmas Day, some showers potentially, but nothing too bad as it appears now. And again, low confidence because the models are jumping around from model run to model run, kind of giving us inconsistent information, which is a sign the atmosphere can't really decide what it wants to do that far out, keeping enough question marks to let you know honestly that and transparently the atmosphere still needs some more time to make up its mind with more confidence as it wants to give us a dry Christmas or not. And here it is over the next 7 days, fairly dry conditions again, because the storm track either is southeast of us or northwest of us. We are kind of in a dry slot between the storm tracks this upcoming week. We've got Gary, Merry Christmas to all, and David, why so dry? The storm tracks are just staying away from our area, David, and a little bit can be part of our winter outlook we gave you. La Nina was a component. You can read about that. Typically, we are drier in the DC area when you have a La Nina winter like we do now. Here's CWG.news/La Nina and CWG.news/winter outlook. It's all transpiring generally like we would expect for a La Nina winter. Hello, Martina. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we've got a quick pollen update. It's pretty under control in the region. Mold, I think, is kind of the low aspect and only aspect. Really, trees have kind of dwindled off recently as well. So allergy sufferers should be feeling pretty good lately as well. Let's look at your forecast for the upcoming week. I'm on the air another 5 minutes or so. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, opinions ahead of our holiday weekend coming up. And I'll see you next Sunday on the 26th, of course. But our latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Generally a serene week, dry week, decent weather for travels, a little bit gusty breezes maybe on Wednesday. Showers, if they happen, might be confined to the nighttime hours. One or two on Tuesday night, one or two showers maybe Thursday night, Friday night. But generally, it's a good situation ahead of travels, maybe for ahead of Christmas Day on Saturday. So keep that in mind. Temperatures are generally near or above average, and you might ask, Camden, what is average for this week? Generally 48 degrees for high temperature, 34 for low temperature. So we're doing pretty good on the climatological averages, but yep, leaning a little bit above average as we go into later parts of the week, kind of Wednesday, and then again Friday, we're getting a little warmer again. And we'll talk about Saturday's potential warmth on Christmas Day as well. Here it is, our quick animation, taking you Monday. Here it starts, going through Saturday, maybe a couple showers Tuesday night. That storm generally wants to stay off the coast. Even on Wednesday morning, southeast of town, might see some showers. That's one storm track. Northwest of town brings in maybe some showers on Christmas morning. We'll see. Lots remains to be seen. It's kind of a low confidence forecast once we get into Friday night and Christmas Day on Saturday. But it could be warm. Let's look at that quickly though. Generally dry this week. Over the next 7 days, very little precipitation expected over directly the DC area. As you can see, this illustrates the storm track to the south and east and the northwest of town. And Christmas. Let's talk about the warmth. 50s, 60s possible, maybe near 70. Personal opinion, it might be near 70, especially south of town. We'll see. Don't count on wearing those sweaters, perhaps. Maybe you can air condition your house briefly. I don't want to say that. That's a terrible waste of energy. But just preparing you. If you're a warm weather lover, this looks great for Christmas, but it's definitely above average, way above average. So it will not be sweater weather, perhaps. And White Christmas, pretty much off the table. Yep, this year. Climatologically speaking, thanks to a warming climate with climate change, we've gone in the DC area from what used to be an 8% chance of a White Christmas down to 4% for the latest climate regime. So details on all of that at CWG.news/WhiteChristmas. And we've got David. Can't believe, I know time is flying this week. I can't believe another holiday is here. And good night, Gary. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's very kind for you to tune in from me. All right. So other than that, right up for a White Christmas that is opposite of what we could see 50s and 60s for this coming Saturday on Christmas Day, we've got a dry situation continuing in the DC area, and it is written about at CWG.news/drydc. So go there to see how we've kind of sprung into an abnormally dry, blossomed into an abnormally dry soil conditions, especially south of town. That's where the drought really gets going in Southern Virginia and into the Carolinas. And seasonally, the outlook looks like drought really could develop in the Tidewater of Virginia, persist there in the Brown and the Carolinas and Southern Virginia. And it has been, here's a good graphic from the National Weather Service, a remarkable dry period from November 16th to December 15th. That time period had nearly, at all locations, record dryness for the DC area. Again, the link at CWG.news/drydc. And we hopefully can switch the pattern. That is the good news. Let me show you. Next work week, the atmosphere is leaning probably a little bit above average for precipitation. The probability of being above average precipitation, it's leaning wetter than average for next work week. So fingers crossed we can finally get this pattern out of here with La Nina. We are typically dry in winter, but we need a little bit of rain, and we might see it in the 8 to 14 day period. According to this graphic, it's leaning that direction. So fingers crossed. Have a nice holiday, Doris. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's been more like Carolina weather appears, says Doris. Yes, indeed. And Lewis, we might have to wait till January for the snow watch, the snow potential index to be released again. Yes, indeed. We will keep you posted. No snow in the foreseeable future. I am sorry to say temperatures not exactly cooperating with snow in our region either. In the 8 to 14 day period as we go into the new year, we're kind of near normal, maybe leaning a little bit above normal for temperatures, similar to this upcoming week as well. And just quickly, while we're looking 8 to 14 days in advance, the high temperature does come down to 47 degrees. By the time we're looking, this map has context for the 8 to 14 day period, so keep that in mind as well. All right, let's take a quick last look as I'm about to go off the air. I'm Camden Walker for CapitalWeatherGang.com. Generally a serene week, generally sunny more often than not. Dry looks like high probability, maybe a couple showers Tuesday night, Thursday night, maybe again Friday night. little blustery on Wednesday I want to highlight, but near to slightly above average temperatures and our latest forecast at CWG.news/latest. Anytime you need us, we're at capitalweathergang.com. And David, I know if we get the snow back in the forecast, we'll release our Fedcast as well and Schoolcast, and all good. We will hopefully have some snow in the far future in the new year. Nothing on the foreseeable horizon just yet for snow lovers, but I wish you a very nice holiday, and I will see you next Sunday after Christmas on the 26th. And please enjoy the decent travel weather this upcoming week. Dry is good for travels, and hopefully in 8 to 14 days we can get a little bit wetter. We're leaning a little above average, hopefully on the precipitation front for next work week as well. So I'll keep you posted, and I'll see you next Sunday. Have a great holiday until I talk